What up, what up, what up, what up, people? It's your boy, Inspired for Change. Hope everybody's good, hope everybody's blessed. You guys, if you haven't subscribed, then do subscribe to my channel. Do like, do comment, but most importantly, do pass on to others, because there's going to be a lot of creative people with experiences and who've got a story that everyone could relate to. Today I've got a special guest with me. His name's Mohammed. They know him, and he's Anas. His name is known as SOMALISIDEWAYS. Big yourself up, brother, for coming on my show, man, today, man.
Thank you, bro.
My
Thank
brother.
you for inviting me, man.
No, man, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a few years.
Yeah.
I think I met you a few years back in acting.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. And yeah, man, you definitely stood up to me. And ever since then, you've been growing. So I just want to know about your path. And so I want to start from where was you raised, your upbringing, inshallah, and if you can mention that to me.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, thank you, Gula, for having me onto your podcast. So I was born and raised in London. I was born in basically in Harrow, Norfolk Park Hospital.
Oh, mashallah, I was there yesterday.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, well, I was going to go visit someone. Yeah, Norfolk Park, mashallah.
Funnily enough, I haven't been there for a long time. But yeah, I was born there, born in Harrow. I grew up in Sudbury. Moved to acting around 99, I think. Yeah, when I was in year 3 or 2. Yeah. So
where else in acting did you grow up?
I grew up Actonville.
In the Vale? In the estate?
In the estate, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
MashaAllah, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm from acting as well.
Yeah.
That's what's up, yeah. Man.
And you know, obviously, where acting was, years and years ago.
Yeah, people don't know, man.
People don't understand, man.
The growth in it used to be, I saw the dinner.
Yeah,
I saw the dinner.
If you come out during the night, then you're up to no good, you know?
Yeah, I like it. So I didn't talk about something.
Exactly,
I'm telling you, bro.
And it was a struggle. And a lot of people, this is one thing that a lot of people don't know, is I went to Acton High.
You went to Acton High?
Yeah, in year 7, yeah.
In year 7, and how long did you stay for?
I was only there for 2 years, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
So basically, I was there for 2 years, and then my mum saw the trajectory of where I was going, and it wasn't something that was good. So basically, long story short, I reckon if I was still in acting, hanging around with those same people,
you wouldn't be where you are today.
I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. Yeah.
Mentally, physically,
spiritually, in all aspects, I would be so totally different. So my mom saw where I was going, and my dad as well. So they were like, if we don't take this guy out into this environment, he's going to be completely. So then my mom and dad decided to take me to an Islamic school to learn about the deen.
Is that King one?
No.
King Fahd, not King Fahd.
This one is it was organised by Yusuf Islam. He used to be called Cat Stevens.
Really? And where was that based?
Bronsbury. This was in
Bronsbury Park.
Yes,
exactly.
Bronsbury Park.
Yeah,
exactly.
Where's that? Look, that's near
Kilburn.
Yeah, near Kilburn. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it's I'll take the overground, from Acton Central to Bronsbury Park. Yeah. That was my day every day when I was in there. So I started at year 9, and I was there, and
mashallah, you got your GCSEs.
Got my GCSEs, and the thing is, it was a bit of a struggle to get used to it, because from people that I've been hanging around with and the people that I was at that school were totally different. So I had to adjust, and it was difficult because I had to basically get people, make friends and all that stuff, and change the mindset. But it was hard as well, because I would come back from school and then I would see the same people from Actonville, and it's like, shall I hang around with those people, or shall I hang around with I was literally stuck between two, by day I would go at school to Bronsbury, and then by night I would be seeing what's going on and hanging around people in Acton and stuff.
So how many siblings did you grow up with?
I'm the oldest of my family.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
okay. That's why you named Mohammed.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't know. If you know, then you know.
Exactly,
it's a Somali thing. So basically, if you're a boy, mostly their parents named the child Mohammed.
Yes.
As them being the oldest. That's why I've been. That's why I came across it.
Of course. Absolutely right. And it's a lot of Somali families that do that. So you're
the oldest. You got other younger siblings.
Yeah. So I have 5 sisters and 1 brother.
Right, I'm about it.
Yeah, so
5 sisters and 1 brother. So you're like me. So I've got 5 brothers, 1 sister.
Yeah, the other way around. Yeah. The other way around. And obviously, being in a household with a lot of girls is headache. you know, it was always shouting, screaming, "Oh, you took my scarf, you took my sock, you took this, you took that." You know.
I think everyone just, edit that
I don't wanna, I don't wanna
dash you out.
disrespect,
I don't want to dash you out.
But I mean, it is true, like, you know. But yeah,
man.
alhamdulillah. And then after, so I.
What did you like studying though? You're in secondary school now. You've moved over to Brunsbury. Like now you're studying. You got your GCSEs. Like, what's the subjects that you picked?
So funnily enough, I went from a Muslim school to a Catholic sixth form.
You got to switch.
But the reason why I did that was my fault, because I applied late to college and sixth form.
Yeah,
I don't know why I did that. I think I don't know. Some reason I applied late. And all the ones that I applied for, or the ones that I was recommended at my school, they were all booked up. So I was like, okay. I ended up going to St. Charles in Ladbroke Grove.
Yeah.
That's the college that I went to for 2 years. And I went, and it was like, it was different. It was like, I mean, they did like mass on Wednesdays, and you just sit there in the church and stuff like that.
They have you praising, Kumbaya, my Lord. Did they have you on that?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do that, no?
No, they.
You know what time it was though.
Yeah.
You couldn't get brainwashed or anything like that. Not saying they do brainwash you, but as I was growing up and I was in primary school, I know all of them. Baba, Black Sheep, have you any more?
Exactly,
yes, sir, yes, sir. I don't know why. I still remember it from this day.
Even me as well.
It's
I
crazy,
remember
bro.
these Christmas songs and whatnot.
Yeah, in the assembly, I'm just there. Clapping my hands, they give you sweets, they enjoy it. Everyone's just. Yeah, man.
So then after, as I was at the college, I ended up hanging around with like people that were doing A levels and BTEC. It was a bit of a mix anyway. Like it's a school that was known for BTEC at the time, but now there's a lot of A level choices. But back then I chose English language and literature, history, politics, and philosophy. Those were the 4 I chose.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
What made you want to pick them, though, bro?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, I chose those subjects because I was good at writing, and I didn't know, like, obviously in terms of like future what I would want to do and anything like that. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I chose subjects that I was good at and that I was enjoying it, you know. So I chose that. I ended up dropping philosophy, and in my first year, so I ended up doing the 3 A levels. English language, lit, history and politics, and I carried on during my second year. And then when I got my A levels, that's when I decided to be like, okay, what am I going to do, you know? So I ended up choosing international politics.
International politics.
Yeah, because I was a type of guy that was always up to date with current affairs. I was always interested in the way countries, their political systems work, as well as like history as well. You know, the past and how people can, you know, do things differently in the future, and a lot of those things. So that's what I was doing. That's what I was enjoying. So I ended up doing that for 3 years. And then, during my time at uni, that's when I came about with this Somali Sideways project. During my time at uni.
But see, when you was in the Islamic school, so what, did you say was you close to your dean? Did you like, how was it though? Like, how was it? Parents think like when you do come to Islamic school or something like it's just gonna be, it's not gonna be no.
Yeah, sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
How was your experience?
When I was there,
sorry to interrupt there. And compared to the Catholic school you went to and the Islamic school, like how was it in the UK? Like, what was the difference between the two?
Yeah, so the Muslim school was great. Like as much as they taught you the deen and stuff like that, obviously they all, you know, you do your GCSEs and everything as well. And also one thing I like about that school was I did some of my GCSEs a year early. I did it in year 10.
Yeah, so because you was on point.
Yeah, so they said to myself like, you know, you're one of the kids that we want to do, but obviously, you know, I wasn't taking it seriously in my first year. Like it was a bit of an adjustment period. So they were like, you know, you have a great mindset. Like if you can do it in a year early, some of them. So I said, yeah, all right, I'll do it. So yeah, I ended up doing some of them. I think I did maths, I did RE, and I did Islamic studies, and then
So did you just pray in school and that?
Yeah. We did Jummah and all that stuff. But for me, during that time, like I knew about the religion. Yeah. But I didn't feel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, you know, when you're praying, for example, like I ended up, you know, you read Surah Al-Fatiha and then you end up reading different surahs and whatever. Like I would read it, but then I wouldn't feel it. Like I didn't know the meaning. Like I would just think about like, oh yeah, what am I gonna have for lunch while I'm praying?
Sure, so you have no control, no concentration.
Yeah, I couldn't concentrate. Like I'll think about, okay, I'm gonna be playing ball later on at 6.
I know, but that's like for everyone. That's not only you, Mohammed.
I know.
That's for everyone.
Yeah, I know. But then
that's one of the most simple and like hardest thing when you get into Salah is to get concentration, because everyone's got a million things they're doing in life.
Yeah.
But that's as you go along, it becomes a pattern, and eventually when you get to a certain age, you'll get concentrated. So yeah, man, alhamdulillah, man. So as you went to the Catholic school, yeah, did you see your like, as you was praying in the Islamic school, did you see like going downhill, or did you keep yourself upright? Did you carry on going Jum'ah? Did you mention it to them in the did you mention it to the high school? I know this is completely off topic, but I'm just interested in that because
cool.
yeah.
But yeah, so during that time when I was in college, I would still take part in like Jum'ahs and stuff like that. But again, there was something I wouldn't say missing, but it was just like I would just carry on doing it for the sake of doing it. Like it wasn't something that, obviously, So it was a whole process. But then obviously now it's a different case, because I would say traveling has helped me a lot. Like I ended up going to like different countries, Muslim countries.
How many countries have you been to, like Muslim countries? Like in general, how many countries have you been to?
Oh, generally,
20.
I would say 24.
See, I knew it. I knew it was going to be in the 20s.
Yeah, 24. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And how old did you when you started? Because right now, can I say your age?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure, bro? Okay, he's 30. Yeah, so he's 30. How many countries? So when did you start traveling? Because how long was you in uni for?
I was in uni for 3 years.
So 3 years. So you come out of there what age? 24, 23? What?
21. That's when I finished graduating. Yeah.
What, from uni?
From uni, yeah.
So like you wrapped it up.
Yeah, but then I ended up like gaining experience here and there, and then I did my masters as well, and then obviously I did this project at the same time.
Yeah, this is the belly. We're gonna keep the best till last.
Of course, no worries.
Keep the best till last. Don't worry, inshallah. So you're saying, you been to Morocco? I guess you've been to Morocco.
No, I haven't. I can tell you. Okay, so
which ones have you been to? Yeah.
From the top of my head, I've been to Palestine. Palestine was I think my trip in Palestine, it made me.
What year was this though?
2015, 16.
Okay, so 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago.
So then during that time, that's when I ended up understanding being grateful and being in a position of, thankful to Allah where you are in life, because the places and people that I met there, they practically have nothing,
Wallahi.
They have nothing.
They're going, and that was 6 years ago,
yeah. And at the same time, they're the most happiest and content. So you think to yourself, then what is going on here? Like, there must be a secret. And then that's when I realized the secret is the deen, because when people are like praying to Allah, they like, okay, I'm gonna get whatever I have now. I'm thankful because sooner or later it's gonna be different. Sooner or later, I have hoped for Allah. Like things are going to be better for me and my situation. But then you look at their situation and you know that nothing's going to change. But yet they still have that hope that Allah is going to take away from their pain and their suffering, and they're going to make it, in a better position that they're in. So that's when I realized about all these things, and I started to become grateful. And so a lot of those like travel experiences that I've had, like for me, I don't judge anyone. Like you could be doing the most crazy things. For me, I don't judge, because who am I? Like I'm just a human being, Like at the end of the day, I go to the toilet just like you. Yeah. My blood is red.
I sleep the same
as you. I need food to sustain me. I need water to like nourish me and all that stuff. So who am I to judge? So then that's when I came across like a lot of these things in life, and it stuck with me. Yeah,
it's great, man.
Yeah.
How did you started realizing this as you was growing up? Did this, for you to have this kind of mindset, is it because you've travelled? Because people have told me, because I've travelled to a couple of countries, but the more you travel, the more you grow mentally.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The more you and be around different cultures, the more you can accept people.
Yeah,
and you can understand people.
Yeah.
So what would you say? I wouldn't say what was the most difficult is culture, or what would you say was the most challenging culture?
Yeah, culture shock.
Yeah, to you when you went to.
I would say.
What country you reckon?
I would say definitely China. China was a culture shock.
What? You're in China?
Yeah.
Well, like, guess who you remind me of?
What?
You remind me of one of my I won't say best cousin, because he's one of my good cousins.
Yeah.
Abdul Wahab.
Abdulhab, okay.
He's a school teacher. He's exactly the same age as me. We're seven days apart. You're like exactly as him.
Oh,
I will tell you. Watch when Abdulhab sees this, he can say, "Yeah, watch it. Because mashallah, but carry on. Sorry."
No,
so you say China because he was in China. That's what I'm saying. He was in China for 2-3 years by himself.
Wow, man.
He learned the language, everything.
Big respect to him, man, because I think I was
How long was he
there
there
for 2 weeks and I was dying. So for you
2
to
weeks?
tell me he was there for 3 years.
3 years. He
big
was a teacher.
respect.
He was a teacher, school teacher.
Big
English
respect,
teacher.
man. Because one of the things that, obviously, like, every culture is different and you learn things as you go along, but China was a culture shock for many reasons. One, the internet is censored. So,
What do you mean censored?
like, in the sense that you can't go on Instagram and you can't go on Facebook, you can't go on Snapchat, you can't go any of these apps. Why? Because they were made outside of China. They have their own apps. It's called WeChat. So their apps have like Twitter, Instagram, it's all in one. Google Maps, everything. I had to download it.
But it's still your same Insta. It's the same thing.
You can get Insta, you can use your Insta.
But it's the same thing. It's the we.
It's their own, it's their own version. But you can connect to your own one, but you have to get something called VPN. VPN, you pay something, you pay a certain amount, and then you get your social medias, but it's slow. So you click on one page, it'll go 2-3 minutes. So there's no point having it because you're paying money, you think you're gonna use your thing like when you're here. No. I had to wait 2-3 minutes to go on the next slide or something. Yeah, I need to refresh my life. It was so difficult. So I ended up
smashing it. China's got them sides. They
don't have Google, so you can't search something there. Like you had to download everything there. And on top of that as well, like people will start taking photos of me because I'm a tall guy. I'm black, so people
How tall
are like
are you? 6'3", 6'2"?
1.
Yeah. That's how tall my cousin is. 6'7". He was standing like a sore thumb.
Okay,
he said everyone was short, good. He said sorry, I keep mentioning Abdulhab, but I just keep. It reminds 6'7". You're 6'1". He's 6'7". So you being the tallest, imagine him. He was saying, brother, he said everyone was shorter than him, good. I was standing out like a tall thumb. I just started taking pictures. Exactly, that's what he told me. They started taking pictures of you, etc.
Yeah, for someone like him, he probably
so they start
struggle every day.
Because they don't see black people as well, no, like that.
Yeah, they don't. One guy started. He got tissue and he started rubbing me when I was on the train. Wallahi. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like he started doing this, and I'm like, are you okay? And then he's like confused. He's like, what's this black guy doing in China? Like, what's he doing here? Like, I've never seen someone like you. That's when I realized they have their own world. Everything is derived from China. So anything that's outside is clueless for them. So if they see a black guy or white guy or anyone else, they'll think that this person is like shaitan or whatever. You know, they'll think that this person is like, who are you? Like, you're not meant to be here, you know? It's like, it's completely different.
Why did you go out there? Did you just holiday?
No, total opposite. So I ended up being invited by a university in Nanjing. So this
Nanjing Chanzhouya. How's Nanjing Chanzhouya, Mohammed? Nanjing, where did he see you, bro?
So basically, there's a UNESCO office. So UNESCO focuses on culture, scientific, and anything related to heritage. So I ended up applying for a specific thing where you basically showcase your work. So I fall under the African category from the diaspora. So I was like, I have a project, focuses on Somalis. Somalis are in East Africa. Makes sense for me to do something. So I applied it, didn't think I'd get it, ended up getting accepted. So there was like maybe, I would say like maybe 70, 80 people that were like involved from around the world, like doing their own artwork or something related to their project or whatever. So I ended up doing the same, and it was a whole new different experience. Like I ended up speaking to Chinese people in Changsha, in Nanjing. So those are the two places that I went to, and then they came and invited. So they started learning about SOMALISIDEWAYS and the project and stuff like that. But yeah, it was very interesting. Like, I mean, one thing I would say, like for me, like when it comes to food, I like food a lot.
Can you cook?
Chinese people.
Can you cook though? Can you cook, Mohammed?
Yeah,
don't draw yourself out right now.
That's the secret to the ladies. I can't say nothing, but yeah.
You can do something.
You
can whip it. You can whip it.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of
I can do something. Yeah.
Alright, cool.
And
So
I can get people to enjoy the food that I make as well. So I think that's enough, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's one thing you can cook, and then there's another if people don't like what you're cooking. You know.
Can you cook different cuisines and stuff?
No, just Somali, yeah.
Only Somali?
Yeah.
Well, mashallah, obviously, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because you grew up in the house with sisters.
Ah.
It makes sense. But Hakudi, so what? You've been to Japan. I don't want to go through China, sorry. You went to China. The last country that you was in, it was Cairo.
Yes,
you come from Cairo, right? How long was you in Cairo for?
I was there for 2.5 weeks. Yeah.
2.5 weeks? Yes, 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
Just to see.
Yeah, the reason why I did that for that long is because I did the event in the first week. Yeah. So I was like, I just wanted some time alone because I haven't travelled.
Event? So you done an event?
Yeah, I did an event, yeah.
What kind of event was this?
It was a SOMALISIDEWAYS event. So I brought my books there, and then people would like purchase the book, people would take photos with me with the book.
Oh, yeah. So don't tell me, is this why you went to all these countries, no?
All these countries were related to this book. Everything that I've travelled, well, majority, 80%, were people that I've met, and I did books event, and yeah.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah. So did you meet all these people?
Majority of them, yeah.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, majority of them.
And this book is just only for Somalians? It was written for Somalis?
Yeah.
Somalis, yeah, sorry, I know. So people are going to try to get onto me now. Well, but it's not that deep in it, people. Right? Take time in it.
And you know, the reason, you know why I named it Somali? Because a lot of people, they were like, why is this guy named Somali only? The reason why I did that was because you see our people, there's so many like different types of people where they come from. So say for example, if you're from Somaliland, they call themselves Somalilanders, right? But at the same time, ethnically speaking, they're Somali. If you're from Djibouti, ethnically they're Somali. What? So at the end of the day, no matter where you are in Somalia, you could be Ogaden, whatever. At the end of the day, you're Somali. So that's why I called it SOMALISIDEWAYS. Because no matter who it is, everyone's related to Somalis. Like you are Somali, ethnically wise.
MashaAllah. So yeah, so what made you want to what made you want to like travel and like, what gave you this initiative or what gave you this thought to do this?
One of the reasons why, because I wanted to change people's perceptions on how they view Somalia and the Somali people. So I said to myself, how can I do this? Like, because everyone is doing their own thing. Like in terms of like media companies are saying like Somalis are this, you know, like. When it comes to negativity, like Somalis are on the top of the agenda. You know, like say for example, like back in the days, like long time ago, like for example, Ealing, or Southall, or any of those places, Somalis would get involved in like stabbings and stuff. You see that on the front page.
Yeah, no.
But then when you see like, for example, young Somalis, like for example, like you, for example, it's not on the front of the agenda. It's like it's not comprehensible for them to be like, yeah, this young brother is talking to youngsters, telling them life is not supposed to be like this. Life is better, you know. But they don't see it. They want a certain lens for people to view what Somalis are, and it's negative. So I said to myself, okay, how am I going to do this? Like, how can I make it in a different limelight? So I ended up getting interested in photography. So I took photos and things like that, and then I happened to take a photo of my friend standing sideways, and so when I did that, I said to myself, let me speak to people.
So everyone's sideways and I can't clock the hook, you know. It's not serious, you know. And you got, like I said, I just clocked it now, you know. Everyone's standing sideways, as you can see. Like, was like, are you a G, you know? What's your name? Carry on, bro. Sorry to interrupt.
Cool. So then he was like, my friend at the time, I said, I'm going to take photos of Somalis standing sideways. He was like, bro, like I don't think this is a good idea, you know. I think it's a flop. I don't think.
How you got the sisters to
yeah, I don't. I don't think this project, bro. I mean, to be fair, me personally, I didn't think it was gonna be like where it is now. I thought it was just like, yeah, it's just a hobby, like just see where it goes, whatever. I didn't think I'll be doing books, but and then I started asking friends of mine, started taking photos of them standing sideways. So I'll meet them in locations. In different locations, so central London or any of these fancy places like parks, like museums, and I'll take photos of them standing sideways in there. And then that's when it kind of grew. Like people started saying like, Mohammed, like you know, this is like a great project, and they were saying good things about it. That's when I started to like take it serious, you know. You know, people started asking me for. I did my first photo exhibition or a year after this project. So it's like kind of like a gallery. Like you see how there's photos here. I'll put it into like in a gallery format, so people would come, show pay a ticket. If they want to buy the painting or whatever, they would buy it and things like that. And the photo printed. So they would buy that, and then people would start inviting me to host exhibitions for them too. So then, say for example, if it's like an African exhibition, I'll be part of it. So then there'll be other cultures sharing theirs, and then when it comes to Somalis, I'll be sharing my bit, basically for Somali like arts and culture and stuff like that, so people can get a perspective. And then that's when I had to take this project seriously, because people from around the world were like, we want you to speak about it. And it was strange because I didn't even know where this was going. So people would ask me like, where do you see this project going in 2 years' time? And in my head I'm like, I don't know, I'm just going with the flow.
It's like that.
Yeah,
Seriously?
I don't even know where it's going.
Right.
People are like, okay, so like if I would be doing photo exhibitions, people would be like, oh, so because of that like landscape and the way that the individuals stand, they'll be waffling to me about art, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So I had to think on my spot. I had to think on the spot. I'd be like, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I see where it's going. Yeah. So, because otherwise, if you act like you don't know what you're talking about, all that, they're not going to take you serious. So I had to be on the spot, I had to be good at waffling, and that's that's one thing I've learned throughout the whole time. I learned how to waffle, but in a good way as well. Yeah, in a good way.
See, one thing that passed me that I wanted to ask you is, you see Hoyo, I want to go a little bit back here. See, when Hoyo realised that you may be going down the wrong road, what gave you the strength to listen to Hoyo? A lot of moms and parents always know the right thing, but it's down to the child to listen to their parents.
To be fair, I had no choice, if I'm being honest with you.
So like, they had you on smash?
Yeah, they were like, yeah, you're going to school. And I'm like, nah, I don't want it. And,
so what was you rebellious?
Yeah, of course, as a teenager you'd be like,
that's what I was thinking.
I was rebellious, but then I had no choice. Somalis, man. Like, if the parents
I was there, like.
Yeah, he was, but then
both parents were there.
He was like, he was like, you're going as well. Like,
what did you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
My dad, he did a number of things, but at that time he was a bus driver, so he was driving the 207.
But when you saw birthday though, innit? He just done that medical girl.
Funnily enough, my dad is total opposite of me. I mean, in a sense that I'm into writing and stuff like that. My dad was a sports legend, so he basically was a basketball player and coach of the women's team back in the 70s and 80s when Somalia was great.
Wallahi?
Wallahi, yeah.
MashaAllah.
So a lot of people...
don't mention his name. No, sorry man, it's a bit too personal.
No, it's okay. So yeah, I mean, everyone knows he's more famous than me. So yeah, my dad is like, his nickname is Shino.
Shino, okay.
Yeah, Shino Gohad.
Check him out.
Yeah, so...
he's on Google, right?
Yeah, he's on Google.
Yeah, you gotta check him out.
Yeah, so he basically, my dad, he was a basketball player. He went to all these, like, basically, my dad went to more countries than me, believe it or not. And I only knew this recently, like maybe in the last 3-4 years. He travelled with the Somali national team to so many places representing Somalia.
I can't believe our country was like that.
I know.
But it's very hard for me to believe, because when I was there, I just saw robles and it gave me everything. Yeah. Imagine we had everything together back in the day, man.